Arsenal 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And the Gunners managed to get all 3 points against a team that has given them a very rough run around, especially at the Emirates. Because coming into this game, Arsenal had lost their last 3 competitive fixtures against Brighton at home. They managed to lose 3-0 last season in a game that was very, very hard to watch as an Arsenal fan, especially since it pretty much gave Manchester City the title, and the fact that they had lost to them at the Carabao Cup just a little bit early at the Emirates. Arsenal needed to respond to Brighton and Hove Albion in this game, and they also needed to respond to Manchester City's result last night when they managed only a 2-2 draw at home to Crystal Palace after Ulise's late penalty. So, coming into this game, the stage was set simply because Arsenal needed to win this game to improve their chances of their game against Liverpool next week when they have to travel to Anfield. So Arsenal's performance was very good. We were electric in this game. The only problem is that we were very profligate. Jesus, Martinelli, and Odegaard were very, very wasteful in front of goal. And if there's anything that Arsenal are going to have any problems with coming out of this game is the fact that they missed so many chances. Now, Brighton, for their part, they huffed and puffed. They didn't really do much against Arsenal. The one thing that they were able to do is that they held the ball very well. It's very interesting to see how De Zerbi approaches these big games, because even at the Etihad, they had a lion's share of the possession. It's very interesting to see a team that you wouldn't expect going to the Emirates to get that much. I think they managed 52% of ball possession to Arsenal's 48%. It's very rare to see Arsenal not have as much possession, because if you look at possession statistics for all teams in the league, Arsenal are third, only behind Manchester City and guess who? Brighton and Hove Albion. Arsenal have just over 60% when they face all the opposition so far that they faced in the league. So you knew that De Zerbi was going to cause a lot of problems for Arteta. But what Arsenal managed to do very well is link up their play a lot better than Brighton did. Brighton also had to face a defense of Gabriel and Saliba, who are very, very good. Arsenal have let in a measly 15 goals so far this season, the tightest defense in the league alongside Liverpool. So coming into this game, you knew that Arsenal's best chances were to try and attack Brighton and Hove Albion and score as soon as they can. Because the problem that they had when they faced each other last time was that Arsenal did not do that, and Brighton got stronger and stronger as the game went on, and they absolutely dominated Arsenal by the end after that 3-0 scoreline, which pretty much handed Manchester City the title last season. So this game was very tense. However, Arsenal managed to have a huge amount of chances in the first half. Going into the second half, the problem with Arsenal was that they didn't convert those chances. So when the second half began, they were a lot more hurried than they were as they were in the first half, because this time Arteta seemed to have drilled in them that they need to take their chances. And it came in the 53rd minute as a result of a Gabi Jesus header. Now, it was very fortunate that the flick back from Van Hecken, I believe, found Jesus all by himself at the back of the post, and he was easily able to put this ball away. And after that, it was all Arsenal. Everything that they seemed to create was half chances, and Saka, Odegaard, Havertz all huffed and puffed, all before they even had goal line clearance. Pascal Gross was able to almost give Brighton parity in the second half. And by this point, Arsenal fans had their hearts in their mouth. Eventually, though, Kai Havertz, was able to turn in an 86th minute goal that was able to put them 2-0 up and finally rest some jangled nerves. Now, it was very important for Arsenal to dispatch Brighton and Hove Albion away. 3 consecutive home losses to this team will start ranking as a hoodoo team. Now, they managed to put away the Manchester City hoodoo early on this season, and it was important for them to put this one away as well. So, what are the positives that we can take from this game? Number one, Arsenal create a lot of chances. Now, if they keep on creating these chances the same way that they have been able to create so far this season, Arsenal will do very well in the run-in. The one thing that they don't have, that I believe is still one of the weaknesses that they do not have in their team, is they need a constant, strong, efficient number 9. Because as good as Gabi Jesus has been for Arsenal so far as his link-up play and his false 9 positioning, it just doesn't seem as though Arsenal have that plan B. They need a second type of striker, someone more in the mold of Nketiah, but someone who is much more clinical than Nketiah. Because I've said it many times, Liverpool have Darwin Núñez and Manchester City have Erling Haaland. Now, Núñez is also very profligate in front of goal. However, he is able to turn in a couple of chances when he has the opportunity to. If you remember his game against Newcastle, all he needed was 2 shots and 2 goals. They managed to take 3 points away from Newcastle when you didn't see it possibly happening at all. So, one of the drawbacks of Arsenal's performances so far is this profligacy in front of goal. And one of the things that they need to do is find a striker. They also need to find somebody who can supplement Saka on the right wing. There's been a lot of talk of Pedro Neto. However, I think he's still recovering from his injury. And there's also a lot of talk of some other wingers being able to come in maybe in January. So there are some things that Arteta can possibly change in his squad right now. But the belief is high, and they will need this when they go and face Liverpool next week at Anfield. Now, Arsenal don't have a good record at Anfield. I believe the last time we won there was 2012, and it's going to be a daunting fixture. But we can take heart from the fact that last season we were able to go there and get a 2-2 draw, despite it being very, very nervy towards the end after Firmino had equalized. So, all's well that ends well so far. Arsenal needed this win, and now they have opened up a little bit more of a gap against Manchester City, who do not play in the Premier League for a while since they go and play in Saudi Arabia in the Club World Cup. The only problem is that our next game is going to be against Liverpool, a very formidable opponent, who are going to want to respond after their draw today against Manchester United, where they dominated for a vast majority of that game, but were not able to put away their chances. So, anyways, that's all I got for right now, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. It's been your boy Izzy, and until the next review, peace.